good day, how you doing? And welcome to class. In today's class, we'll talk about a case study on how data analysis can be very, very effective. So we'll look at a case study to examine the process of data analysis. If you've been following the class, in the last class, we talked about the six stages of data analysis, and we'll use a case study here to be an example to show you how this six case study works exactly. So the case study is about a fictitious company. So this is not a real company, but this is an example of a company now. We have given it a name. So the name is Bloom and Grow. That's the name of the company, and they are actually they're into nursery, specializing in ornament plants, gardening supplies, and landscaping. So it's more like a company that's into agricultural stuff like that. So the company is a family-owned nursery specializing in ornament plants, gardening supplies, and landscaping services in a suburban community. So we are looking at a company like this, and they have a problem here. The problem here is that they've experienced a steady decline in sales. So their sales has been going down since the last 2 years, and it has impacted their profits. And its concern is that they are looking at the business long-term sustainability. If it continues like this, there is a possibility that the company might eventually close up. So this decrease has been observed in the foot traffic, people that have been coming physically to come and buy things, even online traders, and overall customer engagement has gone down. So, like I said, once a data analysis is brought into play, there is a problem that is expected to be solved. And we're going to use these stages of data analysis to see how we can be able to revitalize the sales of Bloom and Grow. So Bloom and Grow is supposed to bloom and grow, but here they're experiencing a steady decline. So it's more like it's going down, going down, going down, and they've observed it over the last 2 years. So as a data analyst, if you are faced with this kind of challenge, so there could be a stakeholder, which is maybe the CEO that approaches you, or the board of management that approaches you, or the head of a particular department, head of sales that approaches you and tells you, hey, we learned you're a data analyst, we have a current problem and we want to see how your approach to solving it, we want to see how you can help us solve it. So the reason why, number one reason you are being employed as a data analyst is to solve problems. Remember that. And it's not just about knowing the skills, not just about knowing the tools, it's about understanding the problem. That's the first stage. So in the six stages of data analysis, we explain that the first stage is to ask. And asking is to be able to understand the problem, that you are really facing the real problem that they have. So you're asking the questions that will be able to understand the problem properly before you now know how to go about collecting the data, processing it, and doing data analysis on it, and all of the rest processes that will go along. Without a proper understanding of the problem, you might likely be giving solution to the wrong problem. And at the end of the day, it's more like you've done nothing. So you need to liaise with the stakeholder. Who the stakeholder? The person that has stake in the problem. Maybe it's the CEO of the company, the head of the department, or whoever has stake in the problem. You need to liaise with them so you can be able to understand properly what the problem is. Like here, the problem is a steady decline. So you can write that down. A steady decline in sales over the past 2 years, and their profit is being impacted. So their profit is going down, and it's raising concerns about the business and long-term sustainability. So they're looking at it like, if this thing goes like this, very soon we might be out of business. We might not have customers again. So they want to bring up a data analyst to be able to change the trend and see how they can turn around the business. So remember, data analysis can be useful in turning around business. And when we talked about different places that a data analyst can also venture into, we talked about the fact that as a data analyst, you can become a business analyst. So in the long time, You can start up as a data analyst. You can become a business analyst, like a specific focus in analysis, or a finance analyst. So as a business analyst, you can help businesses to turn around their profit, their sales, using trends, using historical data, using analysis of the environmental factors and all of these things. So a business analyst is very useful, and this is an example of what you'll be doing. So methodology you use here is to define the problem and the objectives. That's the first thing here. And the way to go about it from this is number one, you're going to take an internal assessment. So you talk to the CEO or who the owner or who the stakeholder is to conduct an internal review of the sales data. You get the sales data for the last 2 years, the record of how sales has been going, whether through their database, they can give it to you, they can extract it from the database. They can also have a log of activities that registers how people come in, their engagement, maybe through their website. They could maybe through their website. Some people really have this Google Analytics or whatever analytics they have. They're able to see how customers are engaging with the product. So even if it's social media, and they could take the analytics from social media to see who is engaging, the people engaging, where they're coming from, and all of the basic information that you need. So you will need that also. Sales data, you need sales data, you need all of these basic things, and they will be very, very helpful for you. Now, so that's how you start analyzing the problem. So you'll be looking at also customer feedback. If there is a feedback form that the company has, if it's through the maybe Play Store or whatever it is, okay, that could be nice. Or if there's a Google feedback, maybe people do Google review for they have a place where they do Google review, you can use that. Or whatever tools the company has to be able to request for feedback from the organizations, from their customers, it's also a very good one. Then you can also observe market trend for that product. What are the market trends for that particular product? To see if it's not just their company that is facing it, or is a general problem across that market niche, across that product exact. Is it that people generally have lost interest in the products that the company is selling? Maybe it's now off, like technology has taken over that aspect, or whatever it is, you are able to understand. So once you have this data, then you need to ask key questions. This is all the parts that a data analyst must be very, very smart. So question number one can be, what are the specific products or categories, or product categories or services experiencing the most significant sales decline? So that's the question. So you could ask them, what are the product categories or services that are experiencing the most significant sales decline? So a company could have several products. Maybe it's a beverage company, like a nursery company. They could have several products that they have, and all of the products cannot have the same level of decline. Maybe if it's a beverage company, maybe Bombita is selling more than whatever it is, or cocoa is one. So there can be different products, right? But we need to know which one is experiencing the most decline. That's question number one. Then question number two can be, how has customers traffic changed over the past 2 years? So key questions you could begin to ask yourself, both in store and online. So let's begin to ask now, how has the customer traffic changed over the past 2 years? Then the next thing is to observe, what are the perceived changes in customer preferences and purchasing habits? What are the perceived changes? Okay, this is another question. Next question now is, are there any competitors, new competitors, or market disruptors impacting our business? Another thing to know is, are there new competitors currently now in the business? So new competitors could also be a problem if there are also people that are actually doing the same type of business, who are coming probably in a bigger way, or have a very solid way to get the audience in the market or whatever it is. So your competitors must also be analyzed to see in the last 2 years, have there been any solid competitors that are actually causing the sales of the company to decline. Then next is, what is the desired sales growth for the company for the next fiscal year? So what does the company actually desire to be their sales target? So it's also essential now that once you are dealing with a problem, you know what the expected answer is. When you take up a data analysis problem, what do they have in mind as an expected outcome? So that is telling you about the desired growth that they have for their next fiscal year. So then we know it. So the objective now, maybe their expected growth is to achieve 10% increase in overall sales within the next year. So if that is it, then the objective now is what we are working towards is to ensure that they have a 10% increase in overall sales within the next 1 year or 12 months. Then we can begin with data collection and analysis. So we collect the sales data, then we need to examine this historical sales data to identify different things. We can look at trends of how people have been buying. We can look at seasonality during different seasons, winter, summer, during cold heat, during specific holidays. We can look at specific holidays, Muslim fasting, Ramadan. We can look at Easter. We can look at different times of the year. How has it impacted the sales? Then we can look at the product performance itself. All of these are critical things to examine when collecting data. Then analysis of customer purchase patterns. Let's see how customers have been buying, including their averagely how many things do they order and how many times do they order. The frequency of order needs to be examined also. Next we look at is customer feedback collection. Let's also do online surveys. You can do specific survey online to see what customers like, their satisfaction, what makes them satisfied, their preferences, their challenges, what they don't like about the product, and different online surveys through social media comments, feedback reviews. All of these things can be things that customer, a data analyst can also gather to understand how to begin. So next is to do a market research. So you can analyze all of the competitors and check their prices, check their offerings, their market strategy, do an analysis of all of their competitors, see what market strategy are they using. Also identify different emerging trends in the gardening and landscape industry. Check if there are specific trends that people are using. If it's like people are now using new tools or technology or AI to make their work easier, whatever it is, identify those things and also assess the local demographic changes and consumer spending patterns. Sometimes it may not be a problem of the customers, it may just be like they have a different way of paying, or their payment system has changed, their consumer spending system has changed. Also observe that if customers don't like to pay in cash, they like to pay through a POS or whatever it is, you also examine that so that in case the company decides they only receive cash, that could be a problem also. They could also stop their level of growth. So whatever you find is very important. A significant decline in sales of seasonal plants. That's what they find. We found out. We found out also that increased competition from online retailers and big box stores offer low prices. So for someone that is selling, there could be our finding is discovered now that when big establishments like supermarkets came in, they were able to lower their prices and they were able to offer different stuff that could entice the customer. So that's why the sales dropped. Then from customer feedback, we observed that the customers felt like they need more personalized services than the general service. They need more personalized services. Also, we observed from key findings that the online presence is very weak, limited engagement and poor user experience. So it means this company Bloom and Grow is not doing enough on social media. They are just posting and posting. They are not engaging customers. They are not doing none of. They are not following so many social media trends that could be able to allow customers to get engaged in their product. Then for the store, we observe that the store layout on the website is outdated and people don't find it very appealing. So this could be a factor that could take the customers to look at other people that have more beautiful store layout. So we started the implementation. What are we planning to do now? What we're planning to do is to introduce new and unique plant varieties to differentiate from the cost competitors, and that is to have plant collections and gardening kits. We can also expand landscaping services with a focus on sustainable and eco-friendly practices. Another thing we can do is implementation of loyalty program to reward a repeat customer. So there could be loyalty program so that repeat customers could be rewarded, and this can increase their patronage. We can also do a pricing and promotion strategy. So we can decide to reduce some prices some place, encourage them, tell them buy two get one free, and all those pricing things could work. We can do targeted promotions on social media. We can promote the services and also develop a serious content marketing strategy. A content marketing strategy could be very important. Then our social media will be engaged to be able to accommodate young people. We engage it frequently, follow social media trends, and do a lot of email marketing to target new audiences. So with all this thing that we did, we revamped the store layout, improved customer service, implementation of online appointment scheduling for landscape consultations. All of these things started giving a good feedback. So also for the online presence, there was a redesigned website. The online product catalog was built with beautiful images, e-commerce platform for online delivery. You can just buy online easily and it will be sent to your house, you know. And there was an increased engagement on social media and people started started enjoying the content of Bloom and Grow. So then we started checking up the results, monitoring and evaluating it. So there was a regular monitoring of the sales data per time. We're looking at the customer feedback. People started giving feedback that they are happy with the product, they love what they are saying. They started website analytics. They observed that tracking the website analytics, we observed people started coming back to the website again. User behavior started changing. People started liking the product more. And there was a periodic review of the strategy every time, checking it to see how effective it is. What are the results? Well, the result is within the next 12 months, they achieved a 12% increase in sales, and there was increase in foot traffic. The brand perception was changed. People started liking the product, and there was an establishment of a foundation for long-term growth and profitability. So this is just a case scenario to see how we can implement the stages of data analysis. So you can see that we started with the question stage where we need to ask relevant questions. Then we are able to collect relevant data that needs to be collected for the problem. Then we're able to analyze the data, clean it, process it, and check and analyze it. Then we're able to now begin to get results from it. Then we're able to visually show the company this is what the problem is, this how to get solution. And once they started acting on it, that's the last stage act. They started seeing the result that they wanted. Alright, so this is just a good example of how it can work. So a data analyst is someone who is able to turn around a business by using a set of procedures. You asked, you know, the first thing to ask, after asking, you are able to collect the right data, you're able to process it, then you are able to analyze it, then you are able to visualize it, and lastly, you are able to act on the results of your findings, and the company is able to see a corresponding change. All right, so join me in next class as